Yo, what up, YouTube? What up, my community? What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Mac Diesel, the host with the most, the best, better than the rest. And we are here for another episode of The Bakery. Now, I know that I told y'all I wanted to be a little bit authentic. I wanted to take this podcast to new levels and, have all these different types of things going on. So today's going to be a little bit different. We're gonna have a different subject to talk about other than life, and it's gonna be pretty good. I think it'll be good for me. I think it'll be good for y'all, just to have a different perspective and have an open mind as far as what it is that we talk about here in the bakery and what we cook up and bake up. So today we're gonna talk about wrestling. That's gonna be the first part. We're gonna talk about Roman Reigns' return. What's next for Cody, Judgment Day. And then we're going to move into the music, talk about Drake's music coming out, or this supposedly new music he just put on Instagram, random page he just made. Is the beef dead? That's the important question. And I'll get into that when we get there. But, And then we're going to talk about movies and friends, talk about the show Shameless and House of the Dragons, which is something I've been watching. I don't know if you guys watch, but I'm so in tune with these shows, so it's different for me. But with all that being said, let's hop into it. Let's get it popping. Let's get it cracking. So what is going on in the wrestling world today, bruh? Oh my gosh! Now I'm gonna say this. I do not have the streaming platform to watch wrestling every week. Although I would love to, I don't have it. I don't want to pay for it. I pay for other streaming platforms. They don't have the crap on there, so I'm not going to pay for it. But looking at the highlights, because I do follow WWE on very many social media platforms. Looking at the highlights, it's just amazing to me, because they literally capture the main moments that matter the most, and then they post it for people that miss it. And you don't have to watch the whole match, but you get the bits and pieces that you need that are important in the show. So not too long ago, they just had, was it Backlash? Yeah, Backlash. Almost said Blacklash. I don't know. Backlash. They had Cody fighting. What is that man's name? The fake tribal chief. We'll call him that. Solo. Cody fighting Solo. Damian Priest fighting Gunther. Liv Morgan fighting Rhea Ripley. I can't believe she lost. That's crazy. Everything that just happened was crazy. And it was just every storyline that they built with the show is it just keeps you sucked in. No matter what show it is, whether it's on Monday or on Friday or pay-per-view, you're going to be tuned in every single week because the storytelling is just super, super good. And that's why I like the fact that Triple H has taken over for WWE, because I felt like when he was wrestling and performing, he took storytelling to a different level, along with John Cena, along with The Rock, along with, all those other superstars that were working together and trying to come up with ways to perform to make the show believable, make the storyline believable, make you hate a certain character. And if you can make me hate a character that you're playing, that means you're doing your job right. And it's just if you can make it believable for me, I'll watch you every week. I don't care who you are. But man, it was just to see all that stuff unfold was just super, it made me happy. Point blank period. That's all I have to say about that. It made me super, super happy. So, let's start with the Judgment Day. The Judgment Day, boy, they were already a mess. I remember when Edge was still with WWE, he started that whole revolt with, building a new foundation, creating something better, something fresh, something new, right? Had Damian Priest on board, Finn Balor, Rhea Ripley, think that was it for the most part. And they eventually took over WWE, just kind of like putting their stamp on things. And then down the road, they decide to kick Edge out. He gets kicked out, he gets beat on, this, that, and the third, whatever. And it was just like, how can they kick Edge out? He made this. And from there on, it just snowball effect. And then Dominic joins. He kicks Edge in the nuts. He hates his dad. And it's like, what? Like, what's going on? And then they form this whole team. And Judgment Day ends up winning the titles. And then Rhea Ripley wins the title. Dominic was champion for a long time. And he had the championship for months. And then he finally lost in NXT. And it was just like, dang. It's like, they were kind of like Jimmy and Jay Uso when they had the Bloodline. Everybody had gold. 4 titles and 2 championships. Crazy. Like, to do that and be in a group is crazy. And I feel like they started the trend for that. So now these other tag teams are starting that trend and, you know, beginning to have these multiple championships as a group, as a unit. And I thought it was super, super cool. But now they've gotten to the point where they can't seem to see eye to eye. And then now they're arguing with each other and fighting and going against each other and saying this and saying that. To the point where they go in these matches and then they lose their titles. Of course, during all of this, when they're losing their titles, Finn Balor and, for God's sake, I cannot remember the other guy's name. The other guy that they included in the Judgment Day, they win tag team titles. The Raw tag team titles. But I think the Bloodline has, I think they were supposed to fight for the SmackDown tag team titles, but I don't know. And then to come to Backlash and then watch Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley to lose is just like that was icing on the cake right there. I think that just made the story even better because in my head I'm thinking, okay, if they just lost, they're probably finna step aside and do their own thing now, form their own group, and then they're still gonna have the Rinky Dink Judgment Day, just like they have Rinky Dink Bloodline, which makes it cool to me because it's like, oh, they just created a whole nother group now. So it's like, it's Judgment Day, but it's not Judgment Day. It's Bloodline, but it's not Bloodline. It's a knockoff of both. So to see how that storyline's coming together and what they're gonna do next, yeah, I think is gonna be pretty interesting, and it's gonna make me want to watch even more because before it was like they just had these random storylines that didn't make sense. Now that Triple H is in charge and he's cooking with this, I don't see it going any bad. I don't see it going any worse. I don't see it going downhill. I think it's just about to elevate crazy. Now that we got the Judgment Day out of the way, let's talk about what's next for Cody. Here's my opinion on Cody Rhodes. I think that the fact that he won was good. I think he should have won. I think somebody needed to beat Roman Reigns. I think he was the guy to do it. However, I feel like the Cody Bloodline storyline is starting to get a little old. It's starting to dry out a little bit because everybody wanted somebody to beat Roman. Everybody was like, well, who's the guy that's going to beat Roman? At first, I thought it was Drew McIntyre, but Drew had his own issues going on with CM Punk. And then I thought, well, there's got to be somebody, maybe Roman just won't lose. But I'm like, that's not really realistic. Like, let's be for real. So the fact that Cody is continuously going through this timeline with the Bloodline, he had that long feud with Roman, beat Roman. Now he's having this long feud with Solo, which I didn't think Solo was going to win anyways. It wouldn't make sense if he did. But the fact that Solo was creating this new Bloodline, which, of course, everybody knew they were going to bring all those new guys that were, doing their own thing and their family members doing their own thing at these other shows, these other companies that they were signed with. It was coming to the point where they were going to sign them to add their family into the company to build an even bigger story. And I think that could have had something to do with The Rock, because he's on the board. So making that kind of thing possible and giving that kind of idea probably had a lot to do with him. But also, like, with Jimmy Uso, Jay Uso, and Roman, those are some pretty big names. So to try to get them to go for their push and titles and things like that, I think it's eventually going to happen, but they're also going to put those two back with Roman. And I feel like Roman's going to have a change of attitude, possibly, but there's also a chance that he may want to fight Cody again for his title. So there's so many different routes this is going. I just think that Cody needs to kind of like step aside and allow some of this stuff to happen. Even if that means he fights with Roman, maybe it could be a good thing. Who's to say it's a bad idea? I don't think it's a bad idea. I would love to see Cody and Roman fight together. I think that would have been something that a lot of people want, because they were fighting for so long, and then to kind of change the motion of everything and kind of twist it a little bit, I think that'll have people on the edge of their seats, because it's like, what? Now they're working together? Like, they were just beating each other up not too long ago. But now that they're working together, I think, this could be a good thing. That's just something that could possibly happen. And I don't know. I'm not there. But I'm just saying it would be a cool idea just to have that. Who knows? I think Cody's doing a good job. As a champion, I feel like he could. I mean, I know he always talks about his dad, and that's a good thing. I would never take that away from him. It's important to give remembrance to people like that you love, that were important to you in your life. So I think that it's cool that he's doing that, but I also think he's gotta give a little bit more. I think he's kind of not giving enough, because his whole goal is to win the title and hold the title that he's never touched. So now that he's done that, what's next? Like, what more is he going to do? Is there going to be a part 2 of the feud with Roman and Cody, or is he going to feud with somebody else? Who else is going to be next up to feud with Cody to keep his story going? Like, I feel like they're going to put it to where he's going to hold the title for a very long time, but it's not going to be the same as when Roman held it for over 1,000 days. But that's why we keep watching every week, to see what happens next. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But let's get to the main point. Roman Reigns returning to WWE at Backlash. I want to say it was Backlash, but I don't know. I hope it was. Because then, if it's not, then I'll look crazy posting this. I don't know. Anyways, that return was right on time. That return definitely sparked my interest even more, like more than usual. And the reason why I think it sparked my interest is because Roman Reigns is probably going to be on my list of top wrestlers right now. I grew up in a different era, so I wasn't there when The Rock and Triple H and all those guys were wrestling. I came in when I first found out about Batista and John Cena. Those were my guys. But just watching John Cena, Batista, and Randy Orton, and then now Roman Reigns, I feel like those are my 4 GOATs as far as wrestling-wise. I think they do a good job with how they handle their moments and what they do. Of course, John Cena's one of the better guys on the mic, better guys when it comes to pulling the crowd's energy. I feel like he just unfortunately he's getting ready to retire, so it's sad. But I feel like he was the top guy who was helping everybody. So it with helping Roman along the way, I think that was important for John Cena and why he's on my top 4 list. But Roman Reigns, man, he's done so much. 1,000 days holding a title, like that hasn't been done for years. And now that he broke that record, it's like, what more can you do, bruh? But I know he's not done. I think he's in his late 30s, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong about that too. But man, I'm excited to see what they do with him. I'm excited to see what he decides to do and how he plans to add his creativity to wrestling, to the Bloodline story, and what feuds they may come up with. R.I.P. to his dad. He lost his dad while he was away, so obviously that also had a part of why he was gone for a long time, and then getting the well-needed rest he needed. It makes a lot of sense. So I'm super excited for that. I definitely, like I said, I'm putting Roman as number 4 on my list for top wrestlers of all time. For me, like I said, grew up in a different era. Everybody else's era is different. It's almost like basketball. You got LeBron, Kobe, Steph, KD, all these guys that are getting ready to eventually walk away from the game. I don't know. I think it's important. I think it's wonderful to just watch and see it unfold for what it is. So, what can I say? I'm an excited human being. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Get your snacks and your drinks. We're about to do a little studio sesh. I tried to make that rhyme. It was not good. It wasn't good. But let's talk about some music going on. Some things going on in the music world. Drake dropping random music on this random Instagram page. Like, what's going on, Drizzy? You dropping music now? Finally? After you just had some beef? Like, what's going on with that? Drake just dropped some new music, man. I'm not sure how I feel about it just yet. I heard one of the songs was with Young Thug. That was pretty good. It was interesting. I think it was pretty interesting considering the fact that everything that's been going on between him and Kendrick. Do I think he should be worried or upset about the beef with Kendrick? No. A lot of people have been saying that he hasn't been worried about it. He's been smiling. He's been happy, And if he took the L, he took the L. Take that shit on the chin. Move on. Keep it pushing. But he's not out here sulking and being sad about it, which is what makes me happy, because it's kind of like you get into an argument with somebody that you go to school with or you're friends with, and your friend says something better than you. It's like, how do you respond? Do you be mad, or do you come back, or do you just laugh it off and keep it pushing? I mean, it was a lot of back and forth, and I'm not going to sit here and say I don't like both artists. I really do. I think that obviously the Kendrick song was played a lot and everybody wore it out. So it's like, is it really good anymore? I can't deny the fact that I did like the beat. It's very catchy, but also it's like, why does this same song have to keep getting replayed over and over and over and over and over and over again? We get it. Kendrick thinks Drake is a pedophile, and I'm not one to say that he is. That is not my place. That's not my business. I don't care. I just like music. Everybody knows who my favorite artist is. Why do I need to pick a side? I mean, unless somebody's just provoking, then that's different. But it's like, when it comes to that, it's just like, why? Come on, man. But we'll get into that in a second. But Drake dropping new music, I think it was the perfect timing. I think we need some new Drake. We think we need something fresh, something new. Young Thug's in jail still, or he's going through his trial stuff, so there's no telling when we get music from him. And then what else? I mean, it's not a lot of good music going around, man. I'm not a fan of a lot of these artists. I have my select few that I like to listen to. And like I've stated before, if there's a good beat with some good lyrics, I'm all for it. But if it's a bunch of mumbo jumbo put together, I'm not exactly excited about it. So for Drake to be dropping soon, hopefully soon, might be a good second half of the year. I don't know. But is the beef dead? And I kind of want to elaborate on that a little bit. I think the beef is dead. I think they both hit each other on some points. Drake responded last, which, okay, cool. But I think the beef is dumb. I think they both were feeling some animosity towards each other, so it was bound to happen. And Drake been sneak dissing Pusha T, which I did not know. I learned that on the Speakeasy podcast. Shout out to them. Shout out to O'Shea Jackson as well, who was on that podcast. And he kind of said that, you know, Drake been dissing Pusha T for a long time. Has Pusha T responded? I don't think so. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he doesn't care. But just to have beef is a competition, man. At the end of the day, we're just competing and trying to bring the best out of each other is the way I would look at it if I was a rapper. There shouldn't be no animosity towards anybody unless you're just digging and trying to pull skeletons out of closets or trying to make somebody look a certain way, you know, then you're asking for it. But I think regular rap beef should just be considered a competition between one great rapper and the next. As far as J. Cole being out of it, smart move. Can't blame him, but even still, I think it would have been cool to see him have a little bit of rebuttal for Kendrick if Kendrick came at J. Cole. But who knows? I don't know. Have no idea. But I'm excited. I'm ready to see what happens next. And now we are at the end of our segment, or at the end of the episode where we talk about the last segment of the day, movies and friends. I have been watching Shameless and House of Dragons. First, let's get into Shameless. I'm going to tell you right now, Shameless is pretty much a very good show. I don't know how many awards it has or if it has any at all, but man, the storytelling in that is super duper good. Definitely hits the heartstrings more than usual with a lot of stuff I've never dealt with, but have just watching it on the screen and seeing how the characters are dealing with each circumstance and situation. It's like they always find a way to make the situation better, and it's interesting to watch because whoever's running that show knows how to tell a freaking story. At every episode, I'm always shocked. I'm always surprised by something. So it's like I'm in for a surprise every time I watch that show. I love it. There's some stuff that's a little, for me, but it's good. I like it. I think if I had to pick a character that would be my favorite, I would probably say Frank, even though he pissed me off in the beginning of the season. Just to watch that turnaround that he's having is phenomenal, and I'm not even done yet. My least favorite character is Debbie. Ever since she got older and had that baby, I've had zero liking towards her. She is annoying. She's a crybaby. She complains too much, and I can't deal with that crap. I don't have time for it. So she needs whatever she acts in next. If she's that same type of character, I'm gonna be pissed. But whatever. And then also, House of the Dragons. Again, storytelling is phenomenal. I love how, same thing with Shameless, there's a circumstance that's going on and they're solving it. My favorite character is Rhaenyra, for sure. Her storyline is pretty crazy, but it's also good at the same time. And she's kind of like going through so much, and then like just her character build over time and how she's getting the, not only the power, but also the, how do you say, the understanding of her point of view seen, at least for me, when I look at her and I watch, I'm like, okay, she's getting this, and this. And it's good for her because that was what she was searching for and what she wanted at the end of the day. So it's like, it's just making so much sense. It's just adding up. It's just clicking for me. So I just recently watched the season finale. I think it's the season finale. I think they got one more episode or two for this season. And then they said next season is supposed to be just all out war, fights, you know. I'm just ready for it, dog. I'm ready for it. I hope they make the show great because I'm excited. I'm ready for it to see what happens. So, we'll see. But with that being said, I'm going to get out of here. I've said all I needed to say and all I wanted to say. I appreciate everybody and everyone who has come by and showed love and continued to watch me and support me and, you know, continue to help me, push me along this journey that I'm going on and this podcast that I am developing slowly but surely. I hope you all have a wonderful day, a wonderful rest of your week. This will be up Friday, or if you're watching this now, it's Friday, so tell your friends, tell your people. If you haven't seen the last episode, go watch that one first before you watch this one. But I'm going to get out of here. I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Love you. Peace.
Yeah, we rolling, we doing our thing. Hey, bad little shawty, she looking for me, but I gotta keep a low profile.